Welcome to the Six-Figure Author Experiment, where we help you break through your first or next $100,000 goal. Parental discretion is advised. Now, let's get on with the show.
Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for coming to the Six-Figure Author Experiment. I'm Russell Nolte.
And I'm Lee Savino.
And we're with...
I'm Monica Leonelle.
Yay! We're trying different ways to do intros now on our 5th episode, because we actually are like, how are we going to do this intro to stick with the next, hopefully, 100 episodes? So I'm super excited. The last episode, we talked to Mike at Written Word Media, and it gave us all of these ideas for like, what are all of the elements of a launch? And then I was putting a bunch of my books up on Substack, mine and Monica's books up on Substack. And I was like, wow, Monica's got a lot of information on launches. So like, maybe we should all get together and talk about launches. So I'm super excited specifically to talk about like a USA Today bestseller launch, but really that's just a hooky way to talk about all launches, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I like a big goal personally. And sometimes you just want to ring the bell. Like you just want to like run up, ring the bell. And if that's USA Today, then go for it. And for me and my co-writer, it was a way for us to push ourselves to go bigger and ultimately to get in front of more people, get more eyeballs, because some of those people will become fans of the series.
Yeah. You had a great, I think like it was either the first episode or maybe even before that, where you were like, hey, I've got 30,000 people on retailers who just want to buy my books there. And like, I want those people as much as I want the direct people to be able to buy the thing where they want to buy the thing.
Yeah. And you're going to reach those people. And what's interesting about this is you already have people who have bought from you and they are not necessarily on Amazon. So these first launches, because you have so many of them, 10 of them, and you're writing more, I'm going to see, and we're going to all see with this releasing strategy, you build the audience because book 1 comes out and you reach a couple of people. Book 2 comes out. Book 1 is still being talked about over here. And then there's some overlap. And then book 2 is just reaching more people. And then they're feeding back to book 1. And by book 10, that it just really amplifies. And I think that that's why people say, oh, rapid release, meaning release a bunch of books within a year in a tight period of time.
Yeah. And Monica.
I'm like, should I jump in? I agree with you. I think like something that's not said enough, especially for newer authors, is like your first launch is going to, it's like there's value to that first launch, but like the value comes at like book 5 or book 10 or whatever it is. And it's true for every single platform. So if you're launching on Bookbub for the first time or like using Bookbub for the first time as a part of your launch strategy, well, it's going to take like 5 books to build that up to where it's like, now you have a bunch of followers on Bookbub. Now the Bookbub readers know who you are and they see your book and they're more likely to click on it and that sort of thing too. So I think that's why it can be really valuable to kind of go bigger when you start out, especially having those 10 books kind of ready to go already.
Not that you should have 10 books necessarily, but this is why like I've been holding off a lot. It's not because I was like, oh, if I hold off, I could do like $1 million on my first launch. It's like, because it just like over the course of 6 months, 8 months, however long the launch is going to be, like you never are out of people's minds because you always have a new thing to like show them. And like, it's like, wow, book 5 also looks cool. And this happens to me all of the time. Like, it's just, I've seen a launch, I've seen a series. In fact, I'm reading my friend Andy Peliquin's series right now, Darkblade. And like, I've heard about this series. We run a book club together. I've known him now for like probably close to a decade. And I've heard this series. It took till 6 books where I was like, all right, like I'm like in now. And now I'm reading it and I'm like, what took me so long? But it like literally took 10 years of like him, Darkblade's not that old, but like 10 years of like knowing him launching a book, me being like, I don't know, okay, like I'll put it on my list. Not that you should not that your readers will take 10 years to get there, but like there is something to be said about that slow plodding, like just wow, 10 months and I've never not heard about this thing. So like fine, I'll try it.
Yeah. And so we talked about like more eyeballs. You can control doing the things to get in front of more people. The other thing you're doing is getting in front of those same people as many times as possible. 7 times, 14 times. I've heard different numbers of like, you need to see a marketing campaign this many times before you even remember it.
Yeah.
And with all these books coming out over and over, and you doing different things to market the books, we're hoping to reach those as many people as possible and those people over and over and over again.
Yeah. And I don't know if you saw this, Monica, but in one of the groups I know we're both in, someone was like, what about doing a Bookbub feature deal for a standalone? And like everyone said the same thing, which is like, there's no read through to a standalone book. So like it doesn't work. It just like the Bookbub, whatever you're doing is like you make money on the read through of the series. And like oftentimes just like the tenacity of your like eventually like you will wear people down in the genre and they'll be like 10 books like this can't possibly be bad if there's 10 of them, right? Like it just like it might be 3, it might be 5, it might be 1. Like once you have people being like, okay, Lee and Monica can write good books, like then you can write a standalone and like it's probably more likely to be like, all right, like, but I mean, I've been talking about signature series forever, which is like every fantasy author that I know who is successful, like has a series. Like even Stephen King, like the king of standalones, has a series, Dark Tower series. Like
Yeah.
everyone has a signature series.
I also think if you're going to do a standalone, I agree it needs to be like, I don't want to say later in your career, but you need to be a little bit established. And I think if you're going to write that standalone, it needs to be like the most like accessible standalone in the world, like
Right.
that you are capable of writing that can then like tie back to the rest of your stuff, like because you can use it that way. And sometimes people do just want, there are those kind of readers who are willing to do a standalone but may not want to jump into a huge series, but it's like you definitely want that to be like extremely palatable to a large number of people if you're using it as a marketing tool.
I would tell that person, do you have a bunch of standalones? Can you put the standalones in the series? Maybe they all have a dog. And by the way, when we say series, in romance, when I write a series, oftentimes it's 20 books, different couple focused on each book, but same world. So they're all joined together. But I could also do series and they're all hockey players and they don't, maybe the characters don't cross over, but it's not, so it's in, I guess, the same universe, but they're not like in the same town bumping into each other, but it's different couples and it's all hockey. That's my series. If I had, and I have random standalones and I'm like, well, here, they're all contemporary romance. So they're all going in the bad boy hero series, just so I can corral them. It's not my signature series at all because it's so random, but I have to write palate cleansers, guys. I have to write something for fun. And oftentimes I actually have a couple of those books that have hit and people, they're really popular, but then there's nowhere for anyone to go.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, this is kind of, it's a lumberjack book that's really popular. I'm like, I don't have any other lumberjacks, but I have this contemporary romance that's sort of like it. And it's not as effective as having 20 bad boy alpha books, but that's okay because I'm not a robot. And sometimes you just can't follow the rules and do like the most successful thing. You got to experiment and have fun. So we do want to do that. And if, you have questions about series, you can reach out to us. We want to do a Q&A episode coming up. And yeah, this is all about like how to be a writer and how to have your own goals. Like we all have different success goals and metrics, and do the things, pull the levers that get you closer to those goals, whatever they are. And on that note, I'm going to real quick talk about the USA Today launch that Renee and I did something smart. We were co-writing and we would get really excited about how the books were selling, even when they were selling, just very little. I once said to Renee, like, one day our books will make $1,000 a month. And Renee remembers where she was in her house. And she was like, no way, that would be amazing. Like we were making 30,000 a year or something. And now the books definitely do that. That's fun. But we started tracking our launches and tracking the numbers. And that was exciting. I thought it would be depressing. I thought it'd be like, oh, these are the numbers. They feel so flat and heavy and like they're not as big as I want them. But really what it did was I noticed things. And what I noticed was book 1 had come out, wasn't as splashy as a launch as I wanted. But book 2, the pre-orders were pouring in. So book 1 is live, book 2 is on pre-order. We got 2,000 pre-orders. And I went, wait a minute. When we do USA Today runs, which we had done in big box sets, you try to get a lot of pre-orders and you have them all land on a Tuesday. This used to be how it is. I'm going to talk about how it is in today's date, but this is how it used to be. So just make sure your new book goes live on a Tuesday. All the pre-orders on Amazon are counted on that day. And the list would count the sales from Monday to Sunday. So if you have them come in on a Tuesday, Amazon actually kind of dumps them in on a Monday too. So you don't want to do it. You have to do it correctly. You have to have the book go live on a Tuesday. So it counts for that week. And that's what we did. So book 2 hit the USA Today list with about 3,500 pre-orders. So a total of and I have the numbers on my computer. I can look them up, but 4,500 sales or something. And in May and January, that used to be a great time to go for the list. You didn't need 10,000 sales a week like you would in October or near Christmas when all the trad books are coming out and they're just selling and selling, pushing for those Christmas buys. So January and May. So this was May, and we hit the list with, let's say, 4,000 sales, and a bunch of those were pre-orders. So we ended up pushing the pre-order harder for book 2 because I tracked the numbers, because I saw, oh, cool. And I have this cool launch sheet that I can share. Nick Eric's actually put it together. You might create your own. I'll ask him if I can share it because it might have been in one of his courses. But tracking data can be fun. And again, success is what you decide it is. So sometimes it's fun to go for a big goal and you just want to ring the bell. And that's what we did for the USA Today. And from then on, we were tracking and we would say, okay, once book 2 goes live, we'll have book 3 on pre-order. And that one was our most successful. We got 4,500 pre-orders and then, made a bunch more sales. And so maybe like 5,000, 5,500 sales hit the list again. And we were trying things. I will list out all the things we did because they might apply to Russell's launch. I will say this though, the USA Today list has completely changed. It went away. And now, according to all the data and all the rumors that I can get, you have to either be selling an extraordinary amount of paperbacks or just be trad. Because there are indie authors who are selling, I can't believe this, but like 20, 30,000 books in a week and not hitting. And there is an indie. She has done really well, but so many of her sales are in paperback and she might have a paperback deal somewhere in there. And so really it's become a trad list, meaning you need to sign up with a publisher to hit it. The same is true for the New York Times right now. Plus it's curated, meaning they will take you off if you write romance or something. I don't know. All this to say, a lot of those lists, you're going to take a different path. Personally, I love being indie. I love being in control. I love the money. And now I'm really into direct sales. So I'm not even thinking of trying to get the bulk of my sales on Amazon. I'm like, how do I get more sales to me where I get paid the most? Because that is fine and that's fun for me. So any questions on that?
No, I mean, I think that's a really good primer. Yeah, I mean, it used to be that the USA Today list was like pure raw data, and like that is no longer pure raw data. And that's why like the Wall Street Journal list has never been like pure data, and only curates like some categories. The New York Times one wasn't. But USA Today was like the one you could actually hit because all it cared about was how many books that you had. Monica, I know you did a USA Today bestseller run close to me. And you have a bunch of information on it in one of the books. I don't remember which one, probably the cross promotion book that we did together.
Yeah, we have a book called Get Your Book Selling on or with Cross Promotion that we talk about the USA Today bestseller run. Unfortunately, that was written before these changes to USA Today, which happened sometime in like mid 2023. And really, I mean, with USA Today, it's really that they used to count ebooks, and now they just don't really like it. It really is print, and it could be a good reason to like try to start building print. I think indies are not they're not as well versed in building print sales, but I do know that it's possible to build print sales on your own. And I don't know that the USA Today list would discriminate against that, but I think we don't have that knowledge as a community yet. And somebody's going to do it at some point, but we're just not there yet, right? Um, I'm trying to think of because I haven't looked at that book in a while. What else is there? I mean, one thing I would say is that with any list run, you really need to be in multiple places. So you weren't able to do it just with KU because you would only be on Amazon. You would only have those retailer sales. So one thing that the other retailers do is that you can actually email them ahead of time. So if you got your pre-order up, you would do it for the longest amount that you could possibly do it, which on most platforms is 1 year. Some platforms, I believe it's Google Play and maybe Kobo. They actually let you do a longer pre-order. You can do pre-orders for like they just don't have a limit on that. So you can actually do those pre-orders early. They do require that like the book is done or like you have a sample or whatever, because they show the sample, but you can be getting pre-orders like very very early on those platforms. um and then you can also just message them like that. They actually like to hear from people who are like, hey, I'm doing like at this point you can't be like, hey, I'm doing you say today bestseller list run, because we all know that that is not actually happening anymore. But you could say like, hey, I'm planning to put a ton of promotion into this book's launch. So let's say for Russell, like maybe it's book 3 or something where you're like, I'm gonna just hammer this launch like and pull out all the stops on this launch. But that would be like, let them know and ask them like, hey, can you put this in more promotions during this time period, because I'm already sending like ads, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And a lot of times they're willing to help you and accommodate you because they want those sales too, and they appreciate when you're pushing their links. And so they're willing to kind of give you something back for that.
One of the reasons that even though there's like it's like so the people would be like, well, why are you even talking about a list run if you're like you can't do it? But it's like it's one of the few strategies that historically since people started doing list runs was wide. Like it is a wide strategy. It must be wide, like because you have to make like minimum amount of I don't know, let's call it 50 sales on like at least 3 platforms for it to count at all. Like you could do like 4,000 on one platform and like 50 on another and like 70 on another, but like you couldn't just do one, right?
Yeah. The number is 500. Just but again, it's not the number anymore. So, but I mean that is what it was required to be before. And so you did have to really push on those wide platforms to get to 500, because it's not an easy number to hit
Right.
on those platforms.
And so like so if you want to ask people about like historically who have like been doing books, even people in KU, like almost everybody who was around in like the 2010s, sometime in the 2010s, like did this thing. Like they did a list run. They have USA Today bestseller author on it. Like they did a list run, and it's like the only absolutely wide strategy that like you can say this is something. And it's still like, even though there's not a USA Today best, I still think because of the way you think about multiple platforms, because of the way you think about like how to up your rank over time. And third, Monica, because this goes back to an article that you will have written months ago when this goes live, but you just wrote this week or launched this week about consistency on Amazon specifically, and how like it builds over time as you launch. So like I'd love for you to talk about that, and like if I got any of the things wrong that I just said.
Yeah, the Amazon strategy that I talked about. So it's actually David Gaughran first. I don't know if he first wrote about it, but he is one of the people who wrote about it and kind of brought that knowledge to the indie community. And his book is called Amazon Decoded. So definitely take a look at that. The one that I'm talking about, you know, if you want to know more about it, it's in our book, Get Your Book Selling on Amazon. So, and it kind of goes through it again. But with that, it really is just talking about like how you want to plan your launch. A lot of times, we think of launches as like the first day is going to be your top day. And on Amazon and also other platforms like Apple Books has the same kind of math, I guess, of how they do their rankings. But what you actually want is for some of that to build over time. And so the pre-order strategy is huge that Lee talked about. That's extremely important to doing this, and it gives you a great boost on your first day. And then you also want to have your launch promotions kind of peaking at like, and it depends on the platform, but on Amazon, they often say day 4, day 5 is when you want it to peak. If you're not able to hit like that top 1,000 at this point, like I would say even push that back even later. Like maybe you want it to be like day 7, day 8, because of how the math on that works. And so the idea is to have ascending promotions as opposed to like on Kickstarter, you would have descending promotions. Like your best day would be like day 1, and then like day 2 is like, you know, half, and then day 3 is like a third, and so on. And so this is kind of the reverse, where you want like your day 8 or so to be the peak. I think unless you're in contemporary romance or thriller, like I would go like day 6, 7, or 8 as my peak, which is challenging because that means you have to have stuff going on in each part of that. On Apple, it's really like day 3 or day 4 that you want to be the peak. So how you manage doing those two things can be a little bit challenging too, since you're kind of pushing it to all the platforms at once. But that's kind of how the sales rank works at this point. As more and more books get added, those numbers are going to change a little bit. And so they are different from when David Gaughran wrote that book. I don't know if he's done an update recently, but that was, again, in like the 2010s that he wrote that. Now looking at the data in 2024, it really has kind of just the level of competition has shifted. Like it's harder to hit the top 100. I would say top 1,000 is like, that's an extremely well-performing book at this point in the way the Amazon ecosystem works. So yeah, that's what I would look at. And Russell, I mean, you taught me how to do amazing launches. So I know that this data is like prickling your brain and like giving you lots of ideas.
I mean, the thing that so I'd love for us to move to like talk about what like the elements of it, but the thing that always really interested me about this strategy was how you would inch up and like double your ad spend in the days before you do this launch, because like Amazon, like if you want to be sticky on Amazon, like they don't want to see like suddenly you have 5,000 pre-orders. Like they want to see your rank. Like the higher you can get your rank before your launch, like the more sticky you will be after your launch, or at least that's how it used to be. And like I found that like fascinating, because I would never have thought like if I'm 1,000,000 in the store, like being 2,000 in the store, like really matters on like as far as like the promotion that you get over time. And like I was blown away when I heard that. And I don't know, Lee, you can talk about whether that's still the case or not, but like I think let's talk about now that the USA Today runs are not a thing, but like the launches are. Like, can we talk maybe about the elements that you set up? Because I know you put a lot of effort into putting all these elements
I had an
together.
Excel spreadsheet and everything. And I will say, I definitely always heard, I think I talked to Chris Fox about it at one point. You know, you want 1 sale on day 1, and then 2 sales on day 2, and then 4 sales, and it increases like that. And I told this to Renee, my co-writer, and I was like, we gotta do it. And then we never made it work. And here's why. We did a lot of things, and we also did a lot of newsletter swaps, and you can't always control, which newsletter goes out and who buys from it. We can't control who buys. So, and really Ranker again is a reflection of buys and borrows. And in this case, only buys, because we're not in Kindle Unlimited. And apparently, Monica, you're teaching me, the algorithm is massive and it's not one thing. It's like all these things. But you're telling me, have your hardcover up, have your audio up, because that's counted as like buy. It's more money for Amazon. So they're like,
Yes.
okay, this is the product. This is the product page rather. This is the
Right.
one we want to push. And by push, we mean they're going to send emails to their people that whenever the people talk about, I want rank and I want this on what they really want is Amazon to push their book, not just make it number one in the category, but to send emails to potentially the most perfect readers who just
Yes.
haven't found us yet.
I want
who
to
are
say
in the
something
Amazon
about I want to say
ecosystem.
something about that before we go forward, because like I think if you're coming from direct sales, you would think like if I put $1,000 in Facebook ads, like Facebook will show $1,000 worth of ads. But like what I think you're trying to do here, what I've been told you're trying to do is like if you put $1,000 in Amazon ads, you want to get like Amazon can give you like $10,000 or $100,000 in additional promotion, which like doesn't happen with Facebook. And so like I've always thought, oh, well, if I put $1,000 in ads, like what am I going to sell? X amount of the X, Y, and Z thing. But if you do it right, like the goal is to like make Amazon work for you, right?
Yes. I think like Facebook is, so I don't know a ton about the Facebook ads. I think Lee, you probably do know a lot more about that. I know for sure with Bookbub ads, you can, if you've tested your ads already, you can absolutely kind of control the sales, I guess, more through money. The challenge with the Bookbub ads is that it's got to be like a free or 99. I mean, it's really got to be a 99-cent book. I don't know how else you do it. Like they're just not effective for anything over 99 cents at this point. And then with Amazon ads, I think people focus a lot on like cost per click with Amazon ads. And that's great if you're running like, if you're after your launch and you're running like the evergreen Amazon ads, like it is very important to control your costs. But with Amazon ads, if you can get it going like, 1 or 2 months, because that's a challenge with the ads is just they don't show. It's hard to get them to show, and that's because all of this is because Amazon is closing loops, right? It's closing loops that people have used to kind of take advantage of the visibility on Amazon. So you got to get that ad showing, and then if you can get that ad showing, then you can actually start to hopefully pour some money into those, and then kind of it can kind of control that a little bit better. But with Amazon ads, it's always like, for me, it's like, well, how do I put enough into this ad to like control the algorithms that then will push it, rather than like get the CPC kind of, I don't know, working in your favor. And I think I see that strategy a lot. It definitely works better for KU still, but I see that strategy a lot with people who are just like spending tons of money there. And it's like they're really like trying to dominate their category or like own their category, and they're probably not making a ton of money. Or like the dashboard like looks terrible, but it's like they're making money because all those personalized emails are going out, all the push notifications are going out, and all that stuff is happening behind the scenes. That's like really kind of boosting them, and so that I think is definitely something to consider, how you can use those two platforms in particular. And I think one of the challenges, something we haven't talked about yet, is like you can do a lot of that USA Today stuff on a full price book, but it's much easier to do it on like a 99-cent book. It just opens up the Bookbub ads for you. It opens up newsletter pushes for you. So
Well, I'm excited because we're going to have a chance to do both types of launches. This one will be full price. So I'm going to talk about Renee and Mai's full price USA Today launches, which we no longer do. And I'm going to list out all the things we did. And then the question I want everyone in their mind to be asking, does this sound fun for me? Is what Lee is saying, does that sound like something I want to try? Does it sound interesting? Have I done it before and I like doing it? That's what you're asking for yourself, because Russell's launch is going to look totally different. All of my launches look totally different from each other's. There are many books that I don't even launch. Maybe an email goes out, to my tiny Spanish list. I love them, but there's, I just don't have the bandwidth. So my assistant sets the email up, it goes out, that's the launch. So for the biggest launches I've done, we make sure to schedule at 2, or you can get a couple Bookbub pre-order blasts to hit all wide retailers. Those are great. We don't do a new release for less. I wouldn't, except if I really was going for the USA Today, and then I would because I have money to blow. But if you don't have money to blow, just the pre-order Bookbub ads are the best bang for your buck. We would do little giveaways. We have social media. So we would be like, $15 Amazon gift card, add this to your Goodreads. You can do a Goodreads giveaway. We would try those too.
How many of those do you do for the giveaways?
Just one.
Just one
each. Yeah. Again, we're trying things, and then we actually save most of our firepower for the things that work the best, and I will get to them. And then lots of posting on social media. That's fun for me. TikTok wasn't on our radar, so we didn't do TikTok. That would have really helped us, but whatever. We have a nice ARC team, so we're giving it to the book to them. We don't really have a street team, meaning people who are really shouting, giving them promotional images. That is an option. I was never interested in managing a street team, so I just give my ARC away, and I'm like, thanks, and they put up reviews.
Oh, that's a really interesting distinction, because I don't think a lot of people understand that distinction. ARC team is reading and reviews. Street team is doing promotion, because so often I hear them conflated.
Right. And how many people do you have on your ARC team? Because I feel like those numbers, I feel like people are like, I had 10 people on my ARC team, and it's well, you're not going to get that. I don't know.
You got to start somewhere. I've heard people say, they give away 1,000 ARCs, and that's actually it's not a huge goal of mine, but I'm like, I'd do that. I have about 100. It fluctuates between 100 and 150. Right now, it's probably around 126. I haven't done a lot of recruiting for that ARC team. So then recently, a couple months ago, I was like, have you read and reviewed at least 2 of my books? Send me those review links. You're on the team. Once they're on the team, I give them all of my books, all of them. And I do not follow up. A lot of the people on my team are 70-year-olds who have loved me and supported me from the beginning. I'm a very hands-off. That's how I personally choose to do it. I am not interested in micromanaging. And that's probably why I don't have a street team, because I've heard about how, you have to promote my book and it blows up in people's faces. That's labor. And I'm like, I don't even expect you to review my work. Some people love my books with Renee and hate everything else I write. And I don't need them to love everything else I write. I just, I need proof of 2 reviews. This is my personal way of doing it. Sure. Everyone is different.
So
do you have an ARC team,
me?
Russell?
I mean, I 500 or 600 people have read all of my books. In this series, because we did a Kickstarter. So it's kind of like your own personal ARC team who paid you for the privilege of reading your book. If you do it 3 months before, or 6, people at this point, it's been a year since book 1 has come out. So yes, I mean, but I don't have I don't like the math of having 100 people to get 20 reviews. It's just not math that I care. But I also never cared about retailers. So now I probably would have an ARC team, because it's very easy to have an ARC team. You just all of the people who aren't going to buy your books anyway, but want to read them, get on your ARC team. And then some of those people also buy your books. And so it's just an easy way to be when someone emails you, I can't buy your books or afford your books. I'm just okay, go.
That's your ARC team. I love that.
Well, some people I did have applications at some point. At one point I had 100 or 200 people on it. Just it's just frustrating. Because
where were they leaving reviews? Because again, I'm giving away advanced copies to get reviews.
Right.
And these are a lot of them were the ones coming to me and being like, hi, I'm on 7 other people's ARC teams. I love them. These are all my reviews that I've done. I'm like, oh, I'm a baby author. I'm like, yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
We can all be friends. And it was lovely. And I've kept that sort of feel with my group. It's very small.
Yeah. So
And I'm like, here are the books.
So when I first started doing this, I would say I did not understand that they're pretty much multiple silos, and people who want to buy a book almost do not want to hear from you ever, or want to hear from me ever. Like, they just want to like read the book and enjoy it, and then they're like, cool, the next book comes out. Like, I've never found a lot of like appeal of social media. Like, the people that buy my books, I've literally looked at all of the people who spend the most on my books do not comment on any social media that I have ever. The people that are like paid subscribers to my Substack do not, like, they just want to read the next thing. And like, but the people that are on ARC teams, they do want more engagement. Like, they want to get like, and like, they're willing to do more, would like leave a review. But like, so the problem with the paid people is they're like, I paid you. So like, I mean, there's not a problem. Like, they're like, I'm not going to leave a review. Like, I bought your book. I liked it. Piss off. Like, give me the next book and I'll buy it.
One more question, and then we can have a whole episode on ARC teams. I didn't mean to open a can of worms. When you write your next book in this series, are there people you would give it to for free and say, please review this on Amazon and Barnes and Noble and Kobo?
No, I'm going to do a Kickstarter for it, and then those people will review it or not review it.
So yeah, basically your ARC team strategy right now, and I'm good with this. I think it's great. Ask everyone who's read it, hey, if you loved it, it would really help me. Here are links. Here's the direct link. You click this and you will write the review on this retailer. It would help me. No pressure. Thank you. And again, you can do things, similarly, I could lean in more into this personally. Be like, hey, here's some images. Or here's a couple posts on my socials. Facebook is basically mom book. So this works for me. It's romance landia on Facebook, TikTok, Book Talk. So socials work for me. It doesn't sound like they work for you. And that's cool, because social media is a big fat waste of time most of the time. The diminishing returns are like almost immediately. So but I could personally also say, here's a graphic or here's a link to share. And I would do that when I said, oh, here's an Amazon gift card. I posted on my Facebook page. Please, show this book some love, add it to your Amazon wish list, add it to your Goodreads want to read list. People on my ARC team would share that post. So make it really easy for them. And that's kind of like a baby street team. But These are things when you have fans and you have email list of them, you can ask them to do anything. You could ask them to follow you on Reddit and like vote for you to do an Ask Me Anything on Reddit, which might be a strategy. So yeah. And Monica, did you want to say anything before we move on from ARC teams?
No, I think we've covered a lot. The one thing I would say is like, you can have an inner, because I do think like Russell, you're not to bring author ecosystems into but you are Tundra. And so I think like the relationship that people have to you is like, I buy or I don't buy. And I think there could be, so like reviews might be like this new thing for them. So, and that can be intimidating. So you could have something where it's like, hey, can you just, share a couple words. Like I feel like when people say review, everyone's like, oh, like, I don't know how to do that, but like share, like send me back a couple words, what you thought of it. And that can kind of get the ball rolling. So they tell you what they thought, and then be like, hey, can you copy and paste this into these different like review links, and hit a star rating, and that takes like a couple seconds. So that could be like a potential strategy, since your people are not reviewers.
Well, what I meant by the thing, I do feel like I have to like clarify this, is people can be great buyers and terrible reviewers. People can also be great reviewers and terrible buyers. There is this thing where like, it's like, if you buy, you are like a good subscriber to my thing. And if you don't buy, you are like nothing. You're just taking up space or wasting time. Or like, there's this, especially on like Substack, there's like a whole train of like people that are like, I write for the paid people. I'm like, that's great. Like, who do you think becomes paid? Like, the free subscribers become paid. Like, that's the whole like thing. And like, so people that engage, like people like to do the action they like to do. So like people that like to leave reviews, like my friend used to be, probably still is, a Yelp Elite, and she was like so excited to be Yelp Elite. And I'm like, that means you did so much free work for all
Yes.
of these people, but she
It's
like
labor.
liked it. And
Mhm.
like if you gave her like a Groupon, she'd probably be like, I don't care about the Groupon. I just want to leave the review. Like I'll pay full price for the thing. I just want to like leave the review at the thing that I'll leave the review for. And the same thing is like people who like to buy in Kickstarter, like to buy in Kickstarter. People who like KU. And it's like everyone is kind of like a great subscriber. You just have to, I mean, unless they like have a dead email or something, or like they're literally not opening, but like everyone is a great subscriber at a thing. I have been trying to get better at compartmentalizing like what that subscriber is a great subscriber at over time.
That makes sense. So we would send the book to our ARC team. It's not a necessary step. Again, send out 100, you'll get 20 reviews, 80-20 guys. It's just math. The next things we would do, this all falls under the category of newsletters. We have powerful newsletters from people who have bought on Amazon, mostly because I was in Kindle Unlimited for a lot of my career. So we will be sending tons of newsletters. And we've talked about that. We talked about that a lot last episode, which was great. We do newsletter swaps with other authors.
Hang on, go back. What does a lot mean? Is that 5? Is that
every
like
day,
a day?
Sometimes twice a day, especially because I love to send out plain text emails with very short, sweet, here is the book, buy it. And, you know, that text it's pretty much the subject line repeated.
Mhm.
And other times it's a plain text with a long excerpt. And then my emails are across, you know, the week. There's plain text ones going out, and then also ones with images in them, with pretty things in them. Me holding up the book, me saying, here's the picture of the Amazon giveaway, you know, Amazon gift card giveaway, or, you know, click this button and go and review, whatever. So right now I'm about to launch a book 2 in a trilogy, and I'm going to go and I'm going to set up an email to go out like every 3 days leading up to the date. And the date I'll probably do, you know, emails coming out on Tuesday, Wednesday, and then the book goes live on Thursday. 2 emails will go out. One is plain text. One has pretty images. Hey, it's live. Here's me and my co-writer holding it up. We look cute. And then Friday, potentially double email again. Saturday, Sunday, usually we put another book on sale. So some of those emails are like, hey, this other book is on sale. Oh, and by the way, here's our new book. Marketing is an excuse to contact someone. And I have a full sheet of this in my 7-figure author course. So I will pull it out and find a way to get it to anyone who subscribes to our podcast newsletter, which you will learn about at a later date. Any questions on personal newsletters? Because I have a lot more to cover.
Oh, well, I'm going to put this link in the chat so we can have it later, because I have a whole thing about writing an email sequence. I could talk about that forever.
We did. And so I was going to say, I have one and I can give away as like a PDF somehow. And then Russell has one. We'll put that in the show notes. So that's my personal newsletter. Then I have friends with newsletters, and we're swapping, meaning I showcase one of their books. They showcase my new release. And
during launch week, like during your launch week, are you like, I'll do it this week, and then I'll do it for you in a month, and you'll do it for me like this week.
Typically you can request, but you can't control anyone else. So I'm like, hey, it would be great if it was April 25th, which is my launch date, or after, but I will take it at any point. And again, yes. I'm being a little loosey-goosey here, but I'm like, you're my friend, and I'm not going to tell you what to do, because I hate it when people are like, I want you to share my thing, but you have to share it at 5 p.m. on a Sunday and I'm like, I don't want to do that work. That's labor. I just want to cross promote. So real quick, I also then did what we call a Rams promo stacker, and I will talk about that.
I would like to know how many people are you swapping with during a launch, or trying to swap with?
A big launch, I will try to, let's say 10, but I'm doing a lot less swaps lately because my list is so big and powerful, and I have my friends and they have nice healthy lists, and there's a lot of crossover. So those 5 people, we're just automatically like, oh, you have something new, oh, you have a sale, just send it to me and it's in. Um, Finding new people to swap with is labor, it's work, guys. So some people are really organized. They get a nice Excel spreadsheet, their assistant sending it out, and it's going to be 15, 10, 15. I don't know if that's going to be a great strategy for you. We can talk about it another date, but I write romance and I have tons of friends who write pretty much what I write. So
Sure. I
it
mean,
does make a lot of sense.
I have a book club that I can probably do this with. Like we could do like,
I
but
would try it because it's, again,
well,
if you're a baby author, this is a good way to start. And if you're approaching someone like me, tell me, like, look, Lee, I know you have 70,000 people and I have 700, but they're really hungry. They only came from the back of my book. They're really awesome. And you probably haven't reached them before. And I'll be like, that sounds fair. And then you say, and I'll send you out 2 or 3 times. You send me once, I'll send you out a couple times, or I'll
yes,
showcase you specially. I would
yes.
swap with you.
So like one of the best strategies I think is like I will do a dedicated email for you. Like I will run ads to my little thing. Like there's all sorts of ways. One thing that I will also say is as you grow into a more successful author, the power of those 10 swaps gets like more powerful over time because people have more like the people that you this is why you need to up level your whole network because like if you all have 1,000 emails, like that's okay. Like you might have to do 50 of them. I don't know. But like to get the same power. But like if everyone has 20,000 people on their list, like, well, you've just 20x'd your reach with the same 10 people. So it's and like so I have found this as I've grown the author stack. It's like, wow, when I send an email now, 15,000 people open it, as opposed to like 5,000 people like a year ago or like 7,000 people. And like just the amount of the people you have access to, like doing this podcast episode and sending it out to like just the author stack list is like almost guaranteed to get 15,000 people to open it, as opposed to like 3 years ago, I had 3,000 people on that same list. And like, even if all of them opened it, they would have to all open 5 times to like get the same leverage. So part of this is when you're finding your 10 swaps or your 20 swaps or whatever you're going to do, you're going to say the first time, this is not like worth it. And it's like, they all have 500 people on their list. It like will have little effect, but like the goal is to like have all of the first to like everyone up levels over time. And 2, it's like the power of all of this chaos working together in your week. Like the problem with running ads is it's just like a launch is chaos. Like there is no way to say, and even I run like $10,000 of Facebook ads a month at this right now. And it's like, there's no way I can say, even if this thing says it was the conversion one, like, was it a brand one? Are they on my email list? Are they like, did they did someone refer them over here? Like, what is the actual reason? I love the thing you said about like, basically it's a strategy called attention domination that I don't know, like, Frank Kern is the person who like I learned it from, where it's like for a small amount of time, you just are everywhere. And then like good things happen. But like if you're going to take this kind of strategy, like the USA Today run is like to me, like the most Tundra thing as that you can do. Cause it's like, I need every big name to be sharing my thing. I need to be on every podcast. I need to be on like all of these things. The more it's like, if you do 10% of them, if you do like half of them, it's not like you get half the effect. You get like, who knows what the effect is. But if you get all of them, suddenly you're like getting things all over the place because they're like, wow, for this week, Lee was in all of my favorite authors' newsletters. I don't even know Lee, but like, all right, like I guess I'm gonna buy her book because like all of my favorite authors can't be wrong.
Yeah, it's like a jet fuel thing. You need a certain amount of jet fuel. If you have less, 1 ounce less than that amount of jet fuel, your rocket's not going anywhere.
Right. Yeah.
So
right.
I'd mentioned Ram's promo stackers. Those are newsletters. like all of the newsletters we talked about with written word media. There's a lot of them. So there's Freebooksy, Bargainbooksy, Red Feather Romance. That's all under written word media. But there's other companies that do this. Bookbub is the best. We're launching a full price book. You can do those pre-order blasts, which I recommend. You can do a new release for less, which I recommend if you want to waste some money, but potentially get in front of some people. But the return isn't going to be as great that I've found. And you can also get a Bookbub featured deal, which everyone knows about and talks about when they say a Bookbub. We're going to do that for later launches when your books are discounted. So otherwise, other than Bookbub and all the written word media ecosystem is Fussier Librarian. There's millions of them, but there's so many that I go to book-rank.com and I click the romance one. And when I was doing USA Today runs, I said, give me the max, meaning if they can fit me in this week, when the book is live, I would not do this when it was on pre-order. When it was live, then I will pay them. And that would be about $1,000. Ram, she does all the work to like book the Freebooksy, book all of them, and then all the scheduling. And that's a lot of work. So I was basically outsourcing it. But you can go directly to Fussy Librarian, to written word media. Right now, I love written word media. I pretty much just choose them. But when you're doing everything, you click give me the max and you check that out. And then that's all the newsletter stuff. Last,
oh, wow. I can just do
ads.
all of these. I'm looking at them right now. Like, there's so many. I did not even know this thing. Like, look at them. They're all everywhere. There's so many of them. I mean, I knew
And
there was so
Monica
many
has
of
a
them, but
list. So we'll get that list from you, but no pressure, because Nick Ericks also has a list that I will post. A lot of people have lists and they've done way better testing and keeping graphs and things. So we'll get you those in the show notes. And Monica, did you want to say anything?
No, that's all I was going to say. It's just that we have lots of lists of these things.
We have lists of lists of lists.
Yes.
I mean, and this list on just book rank is like, there's got to be 60 of them on this list of like things. And like some of them I know, and some of them I have no idea what.
And they're probably
like
not worth it.
Oh, yes.
You know
Yes,
what
go
I
ahead.
mean? Like, I can't guarantee that these lists are any good. And I'm not going to recommend them for your launch and potentially anybody's launch. But this is what we did, so I'm mentioning it.
Sure.
Before I move on to ads, I will say merchandising, which Monica was talking about, and I'm calling merchandising when you go to Kobo's promotion tab or Barnes & Noble's promotion tab, or you email the secret special email that you can only get from Apple to get a special shout out in the Apple ecosystem, in the Barnes & Noble ecosystem, in the Kobo ecosystem. And I'm calling that merchandising. Is that correct, Monica?
That's what I would call it. Yeah.
That is a great way when you're wide to get some attention on all those different platforms.
So when am I applying to those things?
I would say as soon as you can, truthfully. I mean, they definitely work about 6 months out. So, and I think if it's 2 months out and they know you, which, you're in a good position because we happen to know a lot of the reps there and all that stuff. If you don't know the reps, that's okay, because a lot of this information is public too, and I think we're going to share that in the show notes at some point. Then you can just contact them still and just make sure you tell them what you're trying to do, and they'll be excited about that, and you can build that relationship. But yeah, I think knowing them, they're able to just do more for you if you tell them what you're trying to do.
Well, and on top of that, like I was surprised. So the first time I met the rep from Barnes and for Julie, and the first time I met like Carlin and a lot of these people like would recognize, not me because I didn't like apply to these promotions, but a lot of people are like, oh, I never get your promotion. She's like, oh yeah, I know your book. Like they like know that you like have applied a bunch of times. like maybe they just was not right, or like I don't know the reason why. Even I don't even think they know the reason why they reject stuff most of the time. But but like just simply doing the actions, like I was surprised at how many times like one of the reps said that they recognized somebody, even if they like didn't get promotions.
They are very hands-on, like, because these are very small teams, so it's not like it's not like an Amazon. So I mean, that's another reason why a lot of times you hear like once you go wide, don't like pull all your stuff and go back into KU, because they notice that stuff and they're less likely to give you a promotion, not because they're trying to like a blacklist you or like they're personally offended in any way, but they're like, look, we do our promotions 6 months ahead of time. If you're an author that's gonna like pull out kind of willy-nilly from our retail,
Mhm.
that's like a bad customer experience. And so they're less likely to put you in front of their readers. And I think that's why you hear that. But they definitely like they know authors by name. And building those relationships it's really valuable for something like a
Yeah.
launch.
And it's also why something like Future of Publishing or Writer MBA or NINC or like 20, like whatever the conference is, like if the reps are there, like, and
Yes.
really multiple times a year,
Conversations.
like,
Hmm.
it's like, that there's probably going to be reps and like every 3 months they'll do like some event, like, they do NINC, they do Author Nation. Many of them do Writer MBA Con or Future of Publishing. Like maybe there's some at Inkers Con. Like some of them do like 100 events, some of them do 4 events. But like it's often not enough to even be like, I'm going to meet them at NINC. Like you've got to like kind of follow up with them, email them, like see them multiple times a year, which is why we have 6 months from NINC, like another conference that we bring hopefully all of the retailer reps next year. So like you can follow up and make these relationships stick, because like people want to help people they like and that they know will deliver for them. Most importantly, like deliver for them when they
Right.
like it's on the line.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, Future of Publishing, Renee and I sat down. Renee is really good at this. She booked meetings with everybody she could book with. And we sat down and talked about the future. And we're going to be featured on the Kobo podcast. We're getting a discreet cover special edition to Barnes and Noble. And I just got invited to a signing in Barnes and Noble. I'm like, maybe I can make that coincide. And Apple was there and was going, oh, we do this, do that. It really helps. And that falls under the umbrella of merchandising. And it is really great to do to make sure you're giving some love to each wide retailer. So that was part of what we did. When you apply for promotions, Bookbub, Freebooksy, Apple Books promotions, it's about shots on the goal. You're just trying. My personal goal is to get rejected from Bookbub 50 times a year. I have never achieved that. They take something. So, and if you just celebrate every time you get rejected, then you turn it into fun. And it ultimately gets you closer to where you want to go in the 6-figure author experiment. So finally, ads. We're going to talk about pay-per-click ads. And here are all the places you can run ads. Amazon, Facebook, Bookbub, Google, haven't done those. Snapchat, did those, didn't work. TikTok, I'd like to get better at those. And I think Pinterest, but no, we're not doing that. This is my experience with the ads. Amazon doesn't like my erotic books. And they don't like the word alpha. So my non-erotic books that are like not that erotic, a little bit more tame, that have the word alpha in them are out. So I don't know Amazon ads as well. I know they are difficult, but it is nice if you have like $100 a day to have $50 going on Amazon and $50 going on Facebook ads. Because if Facebook doesn't give you sales that day, maybe Amazon will. That is a Nick Eric's idea. Personally, I just don't run Amazon ads. I think for the last launch we could, so we did, and it spent like $30. So it's supposed to spend $300 a day. It spent $30. It is what it is. I'm not taking the time to figure that out. There are courses on it. We can talk about that another time. Bookbub ads. We've run them. You cannot scale them. I'm not going to spend a lot of time working at it. We hired Nick Erics for one launch. He ran them and said, they're not really worth it for your books. Again, we were doing a full priced launch. So my personal BookBub ad strategy is don't do them, just apply for BookBubs and get rejected. Finally, Facebook ads. When we go to show love to other retailers, we are doing merchandising, we are doing BookBub pre-order stuff, grow the BookBub list, grow your newsletter list. We are not running ads to them. Personally, I am going to lean heavily on do not run ads to Barnes & Noble. Do not run Facebook ads to them. Do not run Facebook ads to Kobo. Do not run Facebook ads anywhere except either Amazon or your direct store. My personal experience spending lots of money is you can spend $100 on Barnes & Noble and make nothing, no sales. So that math didn't math for me. I focused Facebook to Amazon for these USA Today launches. And now, conveniently, the USA Today list is gone and I'm more interested in direct sales. I spend a massive amount on Facebook ads. And the reason I do that is it's a great ecosystem. You can find the romance readers. And the only way I know to like scale up is spend $10, then spend $100 the next day, and then $1,000 the next day. That's the only way I know how to do that. Like increase your traffic to Amazon. And I still haven't really caught it. We have gotten Amazon algorithm love. And in this day and age, I'm not even thinking about Amazon algorithm love. I want money. And I'm going to recommend this for you. Take your firepower, take your budget. If it's $10, $100, $1,000, I don't care, and run it to your direct store bundle. And if you're listening to this and you're like, I don't have a direct store bundle, then run it to Amazon. And that's my advice. But for Russell, we have this option and we can talk about it at a later show. But I'm really, really excited about what we're doing with direct ads and the halo effect we see on all retailers. And this is what we do. For our newest launch, we do a lot of the stuff I just talked about, but when it comes to spending money, we will book maybe a Bargainbooksy, not doing the whole Rams promo stacker or book-rank.com thing. We are taking our money and I want to spend $10 a day on my store and make back at least 11. And then I want to get paid to advertise and grow that until I'm spending $1,000 a day and making back at least 1,100, maybe just 1,000, maybe less though during a launch, because I'm seeing my sales increase on all other platforms because of the money I'm spending on my store. I don't know anyone else talking about this strategy. I'm really excited about it. We've gone pretty long today. We don't have to keep talking about it, but
I mean,
what are your thoughts, Russell?
Well,
that was all the things. What do you want to do?
Well, I mean, you're talking about a self-liquidating offer strategy, like, which is like a big thing for like the entrepreneur space, but like not a big thing for the publishing space, where it's like you put $1 in, you get $1.01 out, and then you just keep funneling that back into advertising over time as you grow it and grow it and grow it. I feel like I already do number 6. I'm probably not going to do an AMA Reddit. I easily could build like an ARC team. So that's probably like a yes. I'm not doing a Goodreads giveaway. I'm probably not going to do any giveaway. Like I just like am not going to do that. Like the Bookbub pre-order blast seemed like it's easy to like I could just pay for that. So like I'm about ease. The 10, like I have 12 people in my like I have at least like 20 people that are big name fantasy authors in my like I have this thing called the Action Fantasy Book Club, and like I can probably find 10 people to like promote with that like are worth it. So like, I can probably do that. Like I feel like I could just click every one of these books in book rank and just like not have to deal with it. Like my thing is I like need to not do the things. My problem with the direct sales ads is you have to futz with them. Like you have to like make creatives and like you have to figure out and like test. And like I already have clients I run Facebook ads for. Like it's a lot of futzing I already do. Like I just don't have the energy to futz with stuff. However, if someone else wanted to futz with stuff, like I'm happy to like fund other people futzing with my work, with my thing and making it work. I feel like so like ads, I mean, I'm definitely going to be running ads. Like I actually liked what you said in the private chat, which was less, I'm going to make a really strong case for direct sales and more like you should make a thing that like tells people they can buy it now they can buy the whole series now, or they can buy it later on Amazon.
That
or
was
like the other
Monica's idea,
retailers.
and
Oh,
that's
was
a
it?
great scarcity. Yeah. So the idea is take some ad budget now, run it to your direct store, and let everyone know these books are going to be live elsewhere, but they can get them all now. Actually, I would not do that in the ad. I would not do all that explaining in the ad. I would be like, here's a bunch of books for this price on this store. And those people, some of them will go and look for you on Amazon.
Mhm.
That's what's happening for us. I'm calling that the halo effect. I
Sure.
don't know how much of a halo effect happens for other people. I've heard, I have a mastermind of direct sales, people who have Shopify stores, and some of them are like, I don't see much of a halo effect, but this works for me. And that's
Right.
interesting. I'm just saying it because it's been so lucrative for us. Our series
Sure.
made 7 figures last year on all retailers, including direct. We only advertised the direct store, and we had no new releases.
I mean, that's pretty compelling. I mean, I am all about creating self-liquidating offers or better. So like and Steve Piper would be the person to like look to about that. I think he talks
Let's
about
grab
spillover
him.
effect
Yeah, I
like
use
forever.
his methods, and I was in his course setting up the store a lot. So
S- So,
yeah, and merchandising. Don't forget
oh
merchandising.
yeah,
That's
so that
easy.
was part of I'm gonna do the merchandising. Merchandising for sure is an easy win. Like, so here's the thing that like a lot of people have more time than money. Like,
Yes,
I have a
yes,
bunch of chronic comorbidities and just like very low, like give a effitude. Like,
yeah.
so
You're a
like
busy
I'm
mom
like,
without
oh, I
kids.
can do this. Like I could just pay people to do a lot of these things and not have to do. You were like, I just go to Book Rank and check a bunch of boxes. I was like, I can do that in like 10 minutes. Uh,
Yeah, and you might curate it a little bit. You might not check give me the max.
yeah,
Or you might. And again, you don't want those going out for your pre-order. You want them going to Amazon launch week. Some of those might not be able to do full price. So we might actually want to wait for that promo stacker. Let's let written word media do their thing. You've already delegated a bunch. You've delegated
sure,
Facebook ads, and you've delegated a lot of these promotions. Let's let Mike and his team do their thing. You
sure.
hold that book rank idea for when you have a Bookbub or a sale, because
Yes.
those lists will convert better to a free or pay or 99-cent book.
Yeah, so here's the thing. Here's what I do want to get behind, because this strategy also works the best when you have a BookBub. So, like if you like this like USA Today launch strategy, what you do in that case is you work back from the BookBub. If you get a BookBub, like let's say May 1st, like if you and you want the 8th day to be the BookBub day. So like you are then building up to the BookBub day by like doing a promo stack, like the whole promo stack like this is what they're talking about. Like they're talking about booking a big promotion and then like working backwards with ads and yada 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 yada. It's
So you ramp up again. And I wish there
yes,
was a way to show a picture of like 1 sale on day 1, 2 sales on day 2, 4 sales on day 3. And
right.
it ramps up. And Bookbub would be the biggest day. And I would send my newsletter the day before Bookbub, or maybe even the day of Bookbub. I've never gotten this perfect though. This
Right.
beautiful graph. It's always a little uneven for me. But yeah, you can check stack for that. Give me the max. You can, or don't stack, and
Sure.
that's what they'll do for you. Let's save that for a sale. So let's not do that for this launch. That's my opinion. If you're
Sure.
like, I'm doing it, I want to do it, I have $1,000, then do it. But I would take that money and let's save it for a sale, because this book one, you have a lot of books. We have a lot of shots on the
Sure.
goal. You
Sure.
will, you again, BookBub is about shots on the goal. You're going to have a lot of books that you can say,
Well,
hey, what about this one? What about this one? And
so here's
you'll
my question.
get rejected 50 times a year.
Should I wait to do cross promos with other people and for the same time till there's a sale, or should I be doing this on book 1? Like, is it better to do it when book 5 is out and we're doing a 99-cent one on book 1?
Well, I'm a forest, and
So,
I want all my friends to know I have a new release. So I would get some excitement. In fact, I'm really excited. I think this book club is really cool. Is there a way that you can treat it like an ARC team. Be like, hey, book club people, I'm going to give away 100 to you. And I'm asking for reviews in return, but it's just
That is a thing we can actually do
a fun
because
thing.
yeah, I mean, I think so. Yeah. I mean, Andy and I own the book club, so like we can do whatever we want, but like I think that is a rule that we have for anyone. If not, we will be making it pretty soon because I have to meet with him about starting to plan next year soon. So cool. I fear the reciprocal. So like I want to do if I'm gonna do 10 of these, like that's a lot for me.
It is a lot.
I don't
No,
promote
it's a
other
lot.
people. So like I don't want to do that every release. So
No,
like
no. I
so
would
like
do book 1
book
and
1.
don't do 10, do 3. Like it's a lot.
Yeah, I mean I could probably like I can definitely get very easily. Yes, it's a lot to do the reciprocal. It's so much to do the reciprocal.
It
Like
is. And I have an assistant helping me, and it's still a lot.
and like
So
you want it to be good. You want the reciprocal to be good. So like you want to like I try to keep like only 1 or 2 things in my newsletter. So
yeah. So then that's, 10 people, that's 10 newsletters that are dedicated, and that's a lot. So do 1 good one, maybe up to 3, see how it goes. But I would do it for this book launch. This is again a free thing. And by reciprocal, we mean when Russell puts his friend's book in his newsletter.
yes. Okay. So I think the next episode we should look at my direct sales page and you tell me how to run ads to it. And like we'll talk all about direct sales. What do you think?
That sounds awesome.
Amazing. All right. So we kind of are working our way through. I think we're working our way pretty nicely through like all of the things that you have to do. Like you can, by the time this launches, like I feel like you're going to know exactly how to like launch a book because like we're going to have covered all of the things. Like, I mean, except for maybe Amazon ads, we can probably find someone to like come in and I'm not an expert on Amazon ads, you're not. So like someone would have to come in and like do a thing on Amazon ads, but like
We can find someone. And
yeah.
again, no one has to do any of this.
Yes.
What is fun for you when you're listening to us talk about all the things, all this laundry list, which I will put out in the show notes because it's a lot. Russell, you said number 6. So if you've numbered them, I might need those numbers.
Oh, yes. Number 6 was 1 to 2 emails every day. Like that's already what I do.
Okay. I should have numbered them. So we will try to get this organized for everyone listening. But if you're listening and you're like, wow, this sounds really horrible and overwhelming. Great. What sounds fun for you? And
Yes.
maybe my first launch, I didn't know any of this stuff, but I invited my friends to a coffee shop, my local friends, my non-author friends. I didn't have any author friends, guys. And we had coffee.
Yeah.
We talked like, yay, Lee released a book.
Yeah, it's great.
That was
So like some things that are like not even on this list are like my friend planned an event, like a whole red carpet gala for like her book launch. And I have friends who do just that thing. I have friends who like literally just don't even open their computer that day. They go to a movie. My rule is like I hit launch and then I go to a movie because I can't, because it's like chaos for me and I just can't watch it go from 0 to like some sales.
Yeah. And that's fair. That's fine. And again, it was fun for me to do all this data gathering for a series that we were on book like 14. I knew that some people were going to buy it,
Right.
We had a base and then it grew from there to like, oh my gosh, we could hit USA Today. Why would we do that? Why would we spend all the money? Because we were spending like 10 grand on ads,
Right.
in a week. But it was worth it to us. I'm like, well, it will at least sell the other 12 books that we already have out. And that it was a wise decision for us. We were not getting into debt to do that. We were spending money the books had already made. So this can snowball and it can be really fun. But to get to a point where it snowballs, I think you have to have fun from day one. So what is fun for you? What sounded good? What sounded interesting? I do want to start brainstorming in some of the next episodes. The Reddit Ask Me Anything was kind of a wild card, but I'm thinking there are different social media channels like YouTube Shorts or, we haven't even touched on TikTok, but there are ways to reach readers that might be fun for you, Russell, that, I say social media, you say no, but maybe like doing
I
a webinar sounds really great. And I'm like, well, that's social. There's people coming to it, and you might post on some social media to invite them. Like, that would be interesting. And
Yeah.
we can talk about that another time.
Yeah, I do a lot of like podcast episodes for other people when I launch. Like that's usually my like big launch thing that I do that gets people. I do it, and then like we're doing 2 in the next week or 2 for the launch we have on now. So like for sure. So, I guess my homework is to send you the links to my 3 direct sales offer series, and we'll talk about that next time. And it's going to be interesting because you do a very different thing. So you have a Shopify store. Like I have direct sales offers. I have a Gumroad, but like I don't drive any traffic to like my store, which I think is the big differentiating factor of why when I think Shopify is worth it. Like if you are going to run ads to your store, like it needs to be optimized. If you are going to run ads to a series page or somewhere else, like you can probably get away with like throwing your books up on like a Gumroad or Payhip or something like that. But like if you are going to run ads to your store with the cross sells and all of that stuff, that like beautiful stuff like Pierre does, it's a whole nother game. Like you almost have to have Shopify at that point.
Yeah. Well, Steve Piper, who we just mentioned, runs to a landing page.
That's what I'm talking about.
A special extra landing page. Obviously, Shopify has a landing page. I'm running direct to that Shopify landing page, by the way, with my books on it. But we did try Steve's method. I'm not a huge tech landing page person, and I didn't want to become an expert. I wanted to write books and make ads. And so we ended up doing Shopify. But yeah, let's have a direct sales conversation next time.
All right. Any homework for me before next time? I don't think so.
I think, yeah.
I think we're doing it. I'm going to start an ARC team, maybe. Maybe I'll try and gather people onto an ARC team.
I had a really exciting idea, but I might save it for next time.
Cool. Let's do it. Let's save it for next time. All right. On that note, thank you for coming, everyone. Go to Six Figure Author Experiment. Either write out 6 or number 6, and there'll be something there because I'm going to make it. That's my homework is I have to make this like whole thing this week.
And we want your questions. We want your comments. We want your ideas, because we can definitely get other experts and dive deeper on any topic you're really interested in. If it has to do with a 6-figure author experiment.
Yay. All right, everyone. Have a good day. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening. For more, head on over to sixfigureauthorexperiment.com for archive access, resources, and more. We'll see you next time.